Testing, testing. Alright, originally I was planning to do the political compass test like a freaking nerd, but, instead I'm taking the 9-axis test, just to see truly where I am. Yes, I am bored, and yes, I am currently sitting inside with no friends. So therefore, 9 axes. Okay, so there's like 9 epic value things you'll see near the end that will show where I align. So let's just jump into it. Capitalism is better than any existing alternative. I mean, show me a country that doesn't use capitalism at this point, I guess. Each person should have one vote, each equal to every other. The world has a ton of stupid people. Societies are a blend of cultures, all of them. I guess. Nations should cooperate whenever it benefits both of them. Yeah. But does it benefit them equally? Well, I'm gonna assume so I guess. Government surveillance is necessary in the modern world. Freedom. I like it. It's a little, but like also a little not. A little bit. At least like, you need to catch criminals and stuff, and like, we have the technology, we can have some cameras, but only in public places. All humans share a common identity. No, I don't think that. I don't think every human, everybody, we're all just one kumbaya race. I think there's some definite differences between people. Well, all peoples. Children should be educated in religious values. I don't know. It depends on which ones. I don't know. I actually was in Kansas for like the early development of my life, and they were pretty religious, and I turned out just fine. Sure, religion has some good parts to it that can be taught to the younger generation, even if it's not taught to be inherently religious. Absolute freedom makes a dangerous society. Yes. Laws should not be based on religion. A lot of laws already are. And okay, due process. I know that one at least I know is based on religion, like innocence till proven guilty. If we accept all migrants at all, it is important that they assimilate into our culture. I sort of agree with this one, because, well, it sort of depends on, like, I think, when it comes to this, God, how do I think of it? Okay, I remember, like, I was reading something about, like, immigration, like, into America, and one of the questions they would ask is, like, what's your ideology? And they wouldn't allow people in that actively wanted to seek the destruction of like countries, like anarchists that would come in or try to. To a small extent, yes, I still think that if you're gonna emigrate to any country, you should learn at least the language. You should at least be proficient enough to talk to people, and at the very least, you should learn what are the norms, values, taboos, And that applies with any country. Military spending is a waste of money. No. Even when in protesting an authoritarian government, violence is not acceptable. Yeah. Even though that hasn't always been the best, I think you shouldn't, hurt people. Some freedom must be given in order to keep people safe. Only to a small extent, so I guess sort of agree. The benefits of open borders would outweigh the costs. No. Any country today that has open borders that isn't into Okay, unless you're the EU, but even then they're having issues. Local governments can understand stuff better than the national government could. I mean, sounds pretty logical, I guess. The government must be by the people, for the people. Yes. Equality of outcome is important. No. Ensuring everybody has the same outcome, it fails to recognize the fact that people are different, you know? And making sure, no matter who you are, that you're gonna have the same outcome, it just ignores the fact that there's gonna be some people that are worse at a task than others. Like, you know, if me and my fellow Chad are woodcutters, and I keep almost chopping off my hand every day, and he's like made 3 Noah's Arks, I don't think we should, the outcome shouldn't be that we're both paid the same. Whistleblowers should be strongly protected. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know enough about this. Local government and give each region good representation on their views. Sounds like the earlier question, so I guess I agree. We should be taking in more refugees. I'm gonna be honest, I really don't care. Dear God, that's gonna be terrible. See, the thing is, why? Tell me the reason why we're having in refugees, and I guess I would decide on an individual case, but in general, why? Because, like, I don't know. I don't know what. It's confusing. So, I know my initial thing was disagree, but, like, I don't know. I think the question's too vague. A united world government would be beneficial to mankind. Yup. I love the United Nations. They are the best. United Nations should have a military to enforce its resolutions. No United Nations. I am proud to be in my country. America. Yeah. Coming and saving them. It's a good idea to test a policy in one state rather than implementing it nationwide right away. Yes, UBI was actually tested in this way, and the results weren't that good. Sorry, Andrew Yang. Yeah. The police should be regulated more. I don't know. Most police that I've seen are good people. The people that make headlines are the bad cops. I think most police are fine. I guess in cities I would agree, because that tends to be where I've heard where there's a lot worse. But like suburban rural areas where I've lived in my life, nah, not really. I support gay marriage. Why not? People born to wealthy families have an unfair success even when they aren't skilled and don't work hard. Yeah, to an extent. But like, not every wealthy family works that way. It's as that like inherently says if you're wealthy, then you're immediately gonna give stuff to your kids, and that's not always how it's gonna work. The government should not regulate the economy at all. Only slightly to make sure there isn't abuse of workers. United Nations needs more power. No United Nations. Illegal immigrants should be deported in most or all cases. Yes, if you're here illegally, get out of my country. Sign in the legal way. If you're seeking a refuge here, go in through the legal way as well. Test if you're truly a refugee or not, escaping stuff. Most drugs should be legalized. Okay, people always like to bring up like weed for this sort of thing. There are worse drugs out there that like if you only take a very small amount, you'd like die, and I don't think that should be legalized. It's just too broad for most drugs should be legalized. A country cannot function without a national government. I don't know. I don't know enough about this. I don't know, confederacies, do they exist? Probably. Local governments address issues that okay, yeah, this was asked like 3 times, sure. It is important to maintain our national sovereignty. Hold on once. Yes, I definitely know what national sovereignty is. I have no idea what the first search in Google didn't tell me enough. Alliances can pose a threat to a nation's sovereignty. Society could not function without leaders and followers. Yeah, no, most times, anarchy doesn't exactly work. Gonna be honest with you, Chief. Sorry. People should be given freedom whenever it causes little security risks. Yes. State laws should have precedent over national laws. Um. The national government can't understand what the people need. No, the national government does know what the people need. Just the efficiency of doing it is, I think, might be the problem. The internet should be banned. Sorry guys, I'm deleting my channel. A nation usually needs a military in order to survive. Name a nation without a military. We should be more accepting to other cultures. Other cultures is a very vague way to put it. I don't think all cultures are inherently equal and good. I disagree. If AI could rule more effectively than humans, then AI should rule. That sounds like some dystopian shit. I don't want AI. I don't want robots to be my government. Military action by our nation is often necessary to protect it. Is it necessary to protect it? I don't know. I mean, sometimes. So I guess anybody who wants to enter the country should be able to. I don't like this part of it. Anybody? Sorry about that. The government should monitor all citizens to combat terrorism. No. We should put effort into getting a person on Mars in the near future. Yeah, I think so. Diplomacy only hurts nations. No. The general populace makes poor decisions. Yes. Poor chose to be poor. Some do, some don't. So, traditions are important. I mean, they've guided people for years and years. People abandoned them, I guess. I mean, we're still existing, but I don't know, some traditional values tend to conflict with modern day values. Complicated, but it's a really long subject, and I don't want this to be an hour-long video, so I generally on this tend to go a bit more with agree. Environmental regulations are essential. Sometimes, so yeah. There is no need for local or state governments. Well, then what's gonna govern you? Well, I guess there's other ways you could rule, but like anarchy? Is that what it's talking about? No, I think it's necessary. Any deals other countries want must be bad for us. No, look at the Marshall Plan. In general, immigrants are bad for the country. Dear God, that's a very vague way to put it. All this vague stuff, thanks. Foreigners should never enter the country. No, there's good foreigners we can take in. The government should not fund any religious organizations anyway. Yes. The elders in society know the best path for it. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Neutral. International trade is generally beneficial. I mean, yeah, but kind of failed when this pandemic came over. Alright, next one. To chase progress at all costs is dangerous. Yeah. Lasting peace leads to prosperity. I guess? Yeah. Testing products on animals is ethical. Yeah, sure. There should be compulsory military service. Nah. People's freedom should have no limits. Absolute freedom would be anarchy. It is better to maintain a balanced budget than to ensure welfare for all citizens. I have no experience with that. The national government needs more power. Religion should be banned. Every religion must be looked upon equally by the government. In order for humanity to survive, we need to get past having separate nations. Yeah, that's not gonna happen, and humanity will still survive even if that were to happen. A group of states without a strong national government is merely an alliance, not a nation. I mean, the Confederacy existed. I don't know. Democracy makes it too easy for a majority to further itself at the expense of minorities. Yes, that is why the United States is a constitutional republic. Faith is complete nonsense. Oh no. She's gonna wait till I'm on my deathbed to say, disagree. Public opinion swings too much with emotional events to be useful for policymaking. Yes, definitely. Police need more power and protection. I mean, I earlier said police aren't that bad, but still, they have the power they have already. Only those who serve in the military should be allowed to have influence on who is in power. No. Just because you can shoot people in Iraq doesn't mean you're necessarily the only person who can think of big brain political stuff. Government should be concerned about their foreign citizens. It should be as concerned about foreign citizens as they are about those in their borders. No. People should hold more loyalty to their local state than their country. I haven't encountered this. Most bad things happening in the world are caused by us turning away from religion. A lot of things, not just that. But I guess either one could be true if you were to look deep enough, so yeah. Religion usually provides truth. I mean, there's some good morals that you can learn from it. People should think of themselves as citizens of their nation rather than as their state. Again, I'm not too sure with this one. It is more important to retain peaceful relations than to further our strength. Yeah. The stronger the leadership, the better. What does stronger mean? What is that supposed to mean? My nation is closer to my views than most nations in the world. Yeah. The wealthy have far more than they need. I mean, the wealthy have what they have. So, I mean, who's to say technically you don't need anything besides your basic food, water, and shelter. But if somebody that was homeless came up to me and said, hey, you have far more than you need, I'm like, it just depends. Who are the wealthy? My problem with these questions is that, people are like, yeah, just all of us here, and then there's Jeff Bezos. There are rich people that aren't the richest people in the world that also have it way better than people in the third world. It's just that, I don't know, this sentiment, I'm not too sure on it. Traditions are of no value on their own. Taxes should be increased on the rich to provide for the poor. Taxes should have a flat rate. Technology is not always beneficial. Yes. I don't think I don't think inventing new ways to commit genocide, gas chambers, was exactly the best thing. Immigrants can never really adapt to our way of life. I think immigrants can be like, I guess, change when they actually want to immigrate. We should not allow any refugees. Iffy question. Only our national language should be spoken in our country. Not the only one, but I think it should be the primary language. So I could go either with one. But I guess there are some other languages that are inevitably going to be spoken. Immigrants should be expected to learn the language of the country. Yes! A nation's culture is important to protect. Yeah, I think cultures are generally pretty valuable. A hierarchical state is best. I mean, isn't hierarchy basically everything? I don't know, maybe I'm just retarded, but I mean, what did they mean by this? Is it just the traditional hierarchy? There's people at top, people at bottom? Is that the best? Well, what would be the alternative to that? I guess everybody being equal, but that doesn't really work, so I guess agree. Technology is negatively affecting modern society. Disagree in a broad term, but you can look at separate things that have been invented that have been a bit detrimental. National government protects minorities better than some local governments do. I don't know. I am not. It's important to maintain law and order. I loved that show. We must go back to the basic way of life, without modern conveniences. You know, I really do miss the 2000s when I could have, 2000 BC, when I could have a big stick and nobody could tell me what to do. I don't know, I kind of like modern stuff. Everybody should speak at least 2 languages. No. People... No, in your own country, you should probably speak your primary language, then that's about all you need. The government should have access to the emails of suspected terrorists. You know, whenever this question comes up, suspected terrorists, you know, I always slightly agree more. Like, if somebody's actually threatening people, the very existence of the state is a threat to our liberty. What? Wait, so the state existing is a threat to freedom. I mean, in the most basic sense, yes, but like, what's your alternative? I'll go neutral. Subdivisions of nations should have their own militaries. Militia, but full-on militaries. Those who do not work should die. Chad put a list time? No. Genetic modification is a force for good, even on humans. Alright, the even humans part, that's where it starts getting really iffy. GMOs already have been good for us, just, you know, being able to sustain larger populations with more food, but even on humans, that's... Direct democracy is the best form of government. No. I believe in a higher power. Oh no, I've been caught. International aid is a waste of money. It harms people internationally to give international aid. There's a lot of videos on that, but I think we're just not using it right. But in general, if we're talking about the way we're doing it now, I think it's a waste. National cultures are important to protect. I mean, I like looking at other cultures, I guess. I support regional unions such as the European Union. I have no idea about Europe, alright? I legitimately couldn't care less about Europe. If you have nothing to hide, then you shouldn't care about the government having access to your communications. I don't know about that authority, Chief. My nation should stay out of international affairs. For the most part, I agree, unless there's an international threat. Religion is beneficial for society. I don't know, people in Kansas, they were vibing. Nations fighting amongst each other gets in the way of progress. Yes, sort of. I mean, look at the technological advancements of World War II. I don't know. Because there's two sides to it. Because, like, the progress of, like, just the individual by fighting isn't really helped. But as a whole, I guess it would. More neutral here. The sacrifice of some civil liberties is necessary to protect us from acts of terrorism. Terrorism, I don't want that to happen. Leaders must be strong or the nation will suffer. Never forget the Roman Empire. Tradition just hinders the progress of technology. No, you can have traditional values and have technological process. It just took a while for people to understand that. The government should not break up monopolies. The government should. That's like one of the few times the government should actually interfere with companies. Laws should be completely consistent with all regions of the nation. I'm not sure. The freer the market, the freer the people. To an extent, I agree. People must be allowed to follow a religion. Freedom of religion? Yes. Peace is preferable to war whenever possible. Yeah. Religion should be removed from everything in our government. A lot of laws are based on religion. That would be... I think some laws have, like, their basis in religion. So, like... I disagree. Excessive government intervention is a threat to our economy. Now, from what I've heard, yes. But I haven't had a job yet, so... Reading up on stuff, I guess. We are first and foremost citizens of Earth. Only when we get alien invaders, and that hasn't happened yet. People should not have protections that could hinder discovering their criminal activity. People should not have protections. Should not have liberties. So, like... What are you talking about? Potential criminals? But, like, it's a bit authoritarian, buddy. No cultures are superior to others. Aztecs sacrificed people. I'm just gonna leave that out there. Economies without any capitalism will collapse. I don't know. I've never seen... I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Mercantilism was around for a while. That's gone now. I'm unsure. National government must be strong to adequately protect all its citizens. Well, if it's for protection of citizens, yeah, then it has to be strong. Religion does not belong in government. Okay, there are a lot of ways to interpret this. I mean, when it's talking about should somebody that's religious be in government? Or are they talking about just no religion associated with government? I mean, I don't know, the United States our founding fathers were good holy boys, and we're doing pretty fine. Religious organizations provide better assistance to the poor than the government does. Yes, I sincerely believe that. My religious values should be spread as much as possible. Let's go. A constant state of war benefits a country. I don't know. Technological process is usually good. Now that usually part. What does usually mean? I guess? Those who disagree with the government should be removed from the country. No! Human-caused climate change is currently one of our greatest threats to our way of life. Alright, so genetic modification should be used rarely, if ever. I mean, it's kind of too late to already use it rarely, so the government should not support and only recognize one religion. Yes. We have no right to militarily intervene in other nations. Yes. States cannot function without a strong national government. A nation must obey its leadership without question. No. Countries that do not serve our interests should be toppled. I mean, every country has individual interests. That'd be really inconvenient. No. Basic things needed to live, such as healthcare, are rights. That's not what a right is. You don't. Automation is overall extremely good for society. I'm not sure. The government has no business looking into most people's personal lives. Yes. In the modern era, militaries aren't really necessary. No. We should respect those who have served in our military. Yes. War is never justified. No. Maintaining family values is essential. Yes. Countries that violate human rights should be toppled. Yeah. Government-owned industry is usually a bad idea. Not sure. Communism, if implemented correctly... Representatives rarely represent the nation well. Abortion should be legal in all cases. Oh boy. Dear God. Oh. Sorry. Elections are a waste of resources. No. People should have the right to leave their wealth to their descendants. Yes. Having independent nations with the risk of global conflict is a large threat to humanity as a whole. So, being humans is a large threat to humanity. Got it. There should be no police force. No. Theocracy is a good system of government. Definitely not. Sex outside of marriage is immoral. Oh, dear God. Immoral in what way? I'm not sure. People should vote issue by issue themselves. Yeah. People should have equal opportunity to succeed. Yeah. Oppression by corporations is more often a concern than oppression by governments. I'm not sure. Public utilities like roads and electricity should be publicly owned. Not sure. Local governments should have more power than they currently do. Yeah. Catering to a popular opinion is detrimental to a nation. Yes, because just because it's popular doesn't mean it's the right or even a good way, a good opinion. State and local laws should have precedence over national laws. Not sure. Popular opinion is not always right. Yes. Governments should be accountable to the international community. Neutral cuck, let's go. A better world would come from automation, science, and technology. I mean, we already have that, so I guess. When people have already suffered for technology to be developed, we should use that technology. Just because somebody made a thing doesn't mean we should use said thing because they made it. Only extremely talented and immigrants, if that, should be permitted to enter the country. Yeah. Society was better many years ago than it is now. Never lived then. Can't say. Border protection is important. Yes. There should not be international law. I mean, there should be some laws. Law should vary from area to area and culture to culture within a country. That would get really... Like, if you think law is confusing now. Wait till culture is factored in, and the government just tries to figure out what that means. So it'd be too complicated. Nobody in other countries has our best interests in mind. Yeah, I sort of agree with that sentiment. If you live, even person to person, everybody has different interests, and they're usually serving themselves. And when they are serving other people, even then, it's usually those close to them. Illegal immigrants do not provide a benefit to the hosting country. Yes, I support single-player, universal healthcare. See, I don't have healthcare yet. Come back to me in, 5 years. The United Nations should be abolished. Yes! It is important that we further my group's goals above all others. Yeah, I think America, or any country for that matter, should care about their country first. War is needed to make our economy thrive. I don't know about that, Chief. Economy was booming without war, so, but I'm not sure. Elections are an effective way of showing government approval. I guess immigrants are a net positive. What type of immigrants, buddy? What type? It is necessary for the government to intervene in the economy to protect consumers. Government intervention to protect consumers? In what way? Give me an example. People should have to work for anything they get. Yes, there is no need for a national government. I mean, I don't know. I enjoy some foreign cultures. Sorry, I have watched anime before, where it usually leads to worse outcomes. Oh no, abolition of the USSR at the end of the Cold War. Depends. So yeah, nobody but me can adequately represent my views. Yes, an individual is an individual, and you will be able to adequately represent your own views. There are many issues that it does not make sense to address at a local level. Example please. Religion must decline for society to progress. I disagree with that. Subdivisions should not be able to be exempt from national laws. What? Diplomatic options should always be tried before war is even considered. Sometimes, I don't know. We didn't really consider diplomacy with Germany during World War II, and I think that was a pretty good thing. It depends on the war. I guess if I had to choose one, war has always been on the table, so a little bit of disagree. There must be a separation between church and state. Yes. People should have the power to choose their leaders. Yes. The more people ask, the better chance there is at reaching the best decision. Yeah. I believe there is something after death. Yeah. It is important that we maintain the traditions of our past. That depends on the tradition of your past. But hey, it is important that the government follows the majority opinion, even if it's wrong. Victimless crimes should not be crimes at all. Such as drug use. I mean, if... dear God. I'm not quite sure. So, the country must be able to take all measures to enforce its laws. I disagree. Alliances are important for protecting the nation. I mean, you don't need alliances, but they sure help. But George Washington, I remember he said something like, don't have long-term allies. I tend to agree with that man more. Our culture would be better if with other cultures mixed in more. Well, then you get competing cultures, and then it's like which culture gets precedent over the other one, so, I don't know. It depends on the culture. A military option should always be considered. Not always. Countries fall apart with constant war. Maybe? I guess. Marijuana should be legalized. Sure, heavy regulation though. Only those who served in the military should be able to gain power in government. No. Traditional medicines are often more effective than modern medicines. Definitely not. For each according to his ability, to each according to his need. Shut up, Karl Marx. Nations should not maintain a military. Democracy is the worst form of government, except for all the others we tried. I don't think democracy is the worst form of government, except for all the others we tried. I mean, I'm not sure. I haven't lived in any other place besides America, so I'm not sure. I guess democracy is the best we have. Religious clothing should be banned from public. Okay, shut up, edgy atheist. There is no higher power. Cosmological argument, plus some other stuff, tends to be what I look towards. Strong states weaken a nation. What? No authority should be left unquestioned. I think there is a small amount of trust you have to put in authority just by living in a state. I think sometimes some people get a little too paranoid about authority when they really don't need to. But generally when it comes to this, I only slightly disagree with it, but I understand the sentiment. A government must maintain a strong military to defend itself. Yes. Democracy is more than a decision-making process. What more is it than a decision-making process? Now for my results. Okay. Ooh boy, so... Alright. Alright, so... Neutral on federal versus unitary. Democracy versus authority, I'm neutral. Moderate isolationist, yeah, that makes sense. I'm slightly more for war though. Security and freedom, oh, straight down the middle. Alright, more markets than equality. I'm moderate religious, that makes sense. Progress versus tradition, neutral. Moderate assimilationist though. I mean, it wasn't too far off from what I would have, I guess, thought I'd gotten. But hey, that's been the 9 Axes test. I will have a link to it if you want to try this out for yourself in the description. And I guess, comment what your results are. I know this has been really fun. Alright, till next time.